All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Tomorrow is draft night, so we have to talk about the draft. I have a bunch of stuff I need to get through here. Some of it very, very related to the draft, some of it not so related to the draft. We have a lot of moving parts, a lot more than usual. There's a lot more buzz this year than in past years, I think, about draft night trades, teams maneuvering to get into the draft, top 10 or just the first round, so on and so forth. If you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have your own opinions, comment it down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. The first thing we need to get to, let me set the stage for you guys, right? It was the dead of night, right? It was like 11 something. It was like what was it? 11:30 East Coast time, right? I'm about to go to bed. I'm getting ready for bed, and I'm scrolling on Instagram, and I see Drew Holiday got traded. Two-time NBA champ Drew Holiday, good veteran piece for the Boston Celtics, got traded. And I'm like, no way. So I go check Twitter, right? And I pull up ESPN's Shams Charania. And Shams Charania has a tweet. It says, breaking, the Boston Celtics have traded Drew Holiday to the Portland Trailblazers for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks. This was such, not even like a shocking trade, but just like an out of the blue trade. Because you rarely see trades happen the day before the draft. It's usually the day of the draft, which is tomorrow, um, or the night of the draft. People trying to maneuver, but the Celtics got out ahead and got the guy they wanted. Um, if we go look at the Blazers from last year, the Blazers finished the season. Where is it? 30, 36 and 46. I was very high on them towards the end of the season. I thought they were playing well under Chauncey Billups. And they got Drew Holiday, who's one of the better defenders over the last, what is it, decade now he's been in the league. 16 years NBA experience. I say he was since his New Orleans days, so that was 2013, 2014, till now, almost a full decade. Yeah, more than a decade. He's been a good defender. Um, and he brings a lot of experience to this very young um, Blazers team. Now there's another report coming out um, this morning, um, also from the sort of the Blazers area, um, reported by Brian Siegel. DeAndre and Robert Williams III are names that have been dangled in the trade market. Much like Boston, the Blazers will continue to navigate the offseason with open arms regarding further trade discussions. DeAndre and Robert Williams III have been made available in trade talks dating back to before this past season's trade deadline, sources said. So the Blazers are trying to reinvent their roster a little bit, trying to shed some bigger assets, we'll say older names because DeAndre and Robert are a bit older, um, and trying to give the young guys some more PT next year. Obviously, with the addition of Drew Holiday, that's huge. If I go look at their roster from last year, names that pop out to me. If I'm a Blazers fan now, as a potential guys lineups and stuff, you got rid of Simons, which is a huge deal because now there's more room for Shaden Sharp, who was a draft pick of yours, Scoot Henderson. There's another one in here. No, I think that's it. Yeah, those are the two. So yeah, Sharp and Henderson are going to get more PT. Um, Other names that were good last year: Tumani Kamara, Danny Avdia, Donovan Clingan, who didn't get a lot of PT but was okay enough. Um, let's see here. Yeah, Sidney Sudoku, who was acquired at some point during the season. I think they really are intent on keeping him to see if they can develop him. But this is more about the Boston Celtics than the Blazers, and that's not just because the Boston Celtics are the bigger market and the bigger name team. The Boston Celtics, I said this in a bunch of videos, they were going to have to shed some salary, and it was going to be guys like Drew Holiday, potentially Derek White, probably Kristaps Porzingis. I believe Al Horford has is a free agent who has a team option or something of that variety, so he might not be on the roster. Um, in lieu of the Jason Tatum injury, which accelerates a lot of these things because if you're not gonna win it, if you're not going for the championship next year, you do need to get rid of some of these guys anyway. This was the conversation before and after the Jason Tatum injury was, um, you need to sort of you need a gap year, and Anthony Simons is going to fill that gap for this this Boston Celtics team. Um, Before we move on to Anthony, I just want to give you some Drew Holiday numbers here. In his 2 seasons with Boston, Drew was 11 points. Pardon me, 11 points, 1 steal, 4 rebounds, almost 5. Um, Shot the 3 ball, almost the second best of his career at 39%, and played a total of 131 games, his lowest amount of games for a team, but some of the most impactful basketball I think he's played. These past, was it 5 years, him in Milwaukee and then him in Boston, have transformed his career, and he's become a I don't even say a household name. He was a household name. He's become regarded as this defensive mentor and this guy. Um, Moving on to Anthony Simons for Boston, who will be taking Drew Holiday's spot um, in this trade. He's been on this Blazers team for a long time. He was drafted in 2018, so he's been in the league 7 years already. He has a lot of experience. His career averages are um, 19 and 19 points and 4 assists a game. Really good stuff. Always very promising. At times, he's one of those players where you look at it, he's like, well, is it a bad team and he's just not playing? He's not winning, or is they winning because he's not good? And I think it's the team's bad and he was playing well enough. And at times, throughout his tenure as a Blazer, there's a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of changing going on. He played with Damian Lillard for a couple years, um, and and since the Damian Lillard trade, and he's been able to get more minutes as sort of the, I guess, the veteran guard there. Anthony Simons was. His points went up. He's had seasons of 17 points, 21 points, 22, 19. His latest was the 19. That was 2024, 2025. And he played 138 games for the Blazers. So he's had a bit of a roller coaster. I think this is great for the Celtics for a lot of reasons. One, he's going to take that scoring load that Jason Tatum um, was carrying. Can he do it efficiently? I'm looking at his seasons here. Um, Boston shoots a lot of threes. He does not shoot a lot of threes. Oh, he doesn't make a lot of threes, pardon me. He takes a lot of them. There are seasons in here where he shot 9, 8, 8. He's only been able to make 3. He's never shot above 40% over the last 3 years. Previous to that, when his attempts were a little less, he shot 40%. So we'll see if he can find a comfy medium for himself in Boston, which I think is entirely possible. Um, his defense, I was never impressed with his defense, but you never know when it comes to going from a bad team to a good team. You always have the opportunity to change the narrative about you, and he could become a better defender. He's had seasons of um, he almost averaged one steal last year. It was 0.9. He's never been a shot blocker. His turnovers have gone upwards of 2 a game, which isn't great. And he's over the last course of the last 3 years, he's played 30 plus minutes, which is exactly what the Celtics are going to need him to do. And he's comfortable playing the shooting guard spot. I think this leaves room for. I think I think the thought process behind this move in general and just this whole offseason for the Celtics is going to be able to roll out Derek White, Anthony Simons, um, Jaylen Brown, and then bring in another 4 or 5 to replace KP or Al Horford. Um, you also have contracts in Boston like Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, who are on these bigger deals that you could probably shed to alleviate some of that. Um, oh, yeah, alleviate the salary situation, but also give you room to sign more guys. this offseason. So yeah, that was the breaking trade of last night. I assume there'll be more. This is gonna be a developing um, trade market and free agency, and obviously draft night tomorrow. So let's talk about the draft. We have a bunch of stuff to get to with the draft. Just one more fun fact about this Drew Holiday, Anthony Simons trade is that Drew Holiday was traded to the Blazers from the Bucks once upon a time, and then he got rerouted to Boston, and then Boston won the championship. So Drew Holiday perhaps gets to play in in a Blazers jersey. Perhaps not. I don't know. I also have heard some rumblings that this is just a flip. They're gonna flip Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons. I have no how do you say it? Reliable reports on that. It's just rumor I've heard. So we will see. We will see. Um, so draft. I have two drafts up. Well, I have three actually, but I'm only really gonna reference two, and then I have another one, sort of on the side here. I have one from Tankathon, which I've been looking at all season. It's been very interesting to see this fluctuate. We have one from ESPN, and I have another one that I'm just gonna reference every now and then, um, and all that stuff. So I will link those down below if you want to check it out for yourself. And there are a lot of rumors floating around. There's a lot of stuff floating around over the past couple weeks and especially the last couple days. We will talk about those things when we get there, so we can keep everything moving and keep everything flowing. We're gonna do the first 20 picks of the first round, and that's it. I don't want to talk out of my ass. I don't know too much as we get deeper into the draft. I know enough to get by, so we'll put it that way. Some of these are going to be very surface level takes. Some of these are going to be very boring. Other ones have a little more spice to them, and they're going to be fun to talk about. So first pick, right? The no-brainer pick, the presumptuous number one pick for the last, what was it, like 6 months, probably more than that. Um, Cooper Flag from Duke, small forward, power forward, um, 18 and a half years old, a young man. Damn. 22 points. This was his college stats: 22 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, um, block and a half, steal and a half. Um, from all indications, it looks like Cooper is going to be a a defensive guy coming into this league, and he's going to need to work on his offense in the sense of when I saw him at Duke, there were a lot of times where he was just standing around. That's probably a um a cause of the offense that they were running, but he was just standing around. He really wasn't moving off ball. He wasn't doing a lot, and I fear that in I almost said in Mavericks, in Dallas, he's going to be doing a lot of standing around. They have Kyrie, they have Anthony Davis, they have Klay Thompson, they have a bunch of mouths to feed. My fear is that he's going to be standing around a lot, not being able to move. Um, Jason Kidd isn't the most savvy offensive coach, per se, but I think he might be able to fit Cooper in a bit. Um, where he's going to play is going to be very interesting. Is he going to play the small forward spot? Um, I think the best lineup they could possibly throw out, if I'm the Mavericks, is AD, Cooper, Zeke Naji, um, probably one of the other guards not being Klay Thompson, and then Kyrie eventually when he returns from his injury. Um, Probably the starting lineup on draft night is going to be, not on draft night, on opening night is going to be very interesting because it's probably going to be Derek Lively at the center spot, Anthony Davis at the 4, Cooper at the 3, small forward, and then the Mavericks are going to have to figure out this 1 and 2 spot situation. If I pull up their roster from last year, um, let me take a peek at that real quick. They do have an abundance at the guard spot, I believe. Yeah, they have Clay, who has been dangled out there. I've seen recently that he might not be a Maverick for long here. You got Hardy, you got Christie, you got Exum who's returning from an injury. So you do have options. Um, I think I I I think if I'm the Mavericks, I don't try to move around this roster too much. I try to see what Cooper can do with some more touches, um, in some bigger moments, working with the other two big guys, and really try to um, see what he has at the NBA level because it's going to be different. It's going to be a shock for him. There's been a lot of talk about is he going to be good enough? Is he really as transcendental as people think he is? I think defensively he's going to be that good. Offensively is where it's going to need to come and where he's going to need to improve. Um, let's move on to two. Dylan Harper out of Rutgers, shooting guard, point guard, 21 points a game, 5 rebounds, um, 4 assists, 1 steal. The better of the two in the out of Rutgers this season. If we go look at Dylan Harper's stuff right here, um, from Franklin Lakes, shout out, went to Don Bosco. Wow. Let's see. So they're saying, and I can confirm a lot of this. His strengths, his 2 pointers are a strength. His field goal percentage is good. His scoring is good. Um, his defensive rebounding is good for a guy who's only 6'5", which is really impressive. Um, what he needs to improve on is the opposite of Cooper, where he needs to improve his defense. His defense isn't that great. And at Rutgers, they weren't really doing a lot. They weren't really doing a whole lot of anything. Um, I don't even think they made the tournament. Yeah, so it was just how do you say a product of the situation where he was just out there to get his numbers up and get enough to be the number 2 pick. Now, to talk about where he could go, they have him going to the Spurs, um, which I think is great. I think the main thing is that for the Spurs in particular is that if you draft Dylan Harper, I think you just let De'Aaron Fox walk because there's not enough room, there's not enough ball to go around for Fox, Castle, who was the rookie of the year and your draft pick last year, and Dylan Harper. I just don't think there's enough. There's not enough ball. I think between Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle, there's enough. Even though Stephon can play a little bit of three, I don't want him starting at my three. I don't want him guarding threes. Um, so I think everybody's best interest, it would be better for it to be like Harper, Castle, slide in a three. Would probably be Sohan or somebody like that, and then a four, and then Wembanyama. I think that's the direction you should go. And just looking at some of his other stats here, his wingspan's very good, 6 feet 10 inches, standing reach good. So he has the physicals to be a good, at least a halfway decent defender. He played 29 games. Um, his effective field goal was good. I don't put too much stock into effective field goal. His usage was huge, 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 huge. He's gonna have to learn how to be off ball a little bit. Um, if I look at some of his game logs here, he he's a baller, man. He's a baller. Um, just looking at some of the higher lights here, 37 points. He shot 16 free throws, so he knows how to get to the line. A lot of it, very few games does he shoot maybe less than 4, which is really good for a kid that young. Um, the field goal percentage in that game where he had 37 is very good, and yeah, he's looking good, man. I will tell you when I think somebody shouldn't be drafted this high, or go lower. The first two, the first three is gonna be very obvious. Moving on to three, VJ Edgecombe out of Baylor, 16 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. So he's one of the best defenders in this first round. He's by the number, he's the best defender. Um, I've heard nothing but great things about Edgecombe. Um, I've heard people say he might even go 2. I don't know about that. Um, He he needs to learn how to shoot the three. That's the big con about VJ Edgecombe. And the other con is going to the Philadelphia 76ers, who just have an abundance of talent and have nothing to do with it, essentially. They have nothing to do with it. They have Maxi. They have, um, what's his name? Jared McCain from last year. They have, um, oh my God, what's his name? I forgot his name. Quentin Grimes, who they traded for last year. They have just a bunch of guys. Um, my fear with him going to the Sixers is that he's going to get lost in the shuffle. Unless Paul George is out of this locker room by the start of next season, I think there's going to be a bad a bad situation brewing because he's going to be you're going to be looked at to be good right now, especially when a good team like the Sixers, when the East is wide open next year, you're going to be looked at to be one of those guys. Um, Now, same thing with Cooper. Could he just be it defensively his first year or two and then figure out the offense on the other side? Yes. Um, if we go look at his his uh his percentages here, if I could find it. Uh, per game averages. Here we go. 34%. 34% isn't bad. Um, he only took 4 a game, made one, so not ideal. You probably want to bring him down to maybe like 3 or 2 shots, 3-point shots a game, and see if he can get up to 40, and then increase him over time. 15 points a game. Um, Looking at his box score numbers here, he only had 30 once. So you're not looking at him to be a scorer right out the gate. There are games in here where he gets into the teens and the 20s, and he's a steady shoot. He's a steady bucket getter, which is ironically, I think if you told the Sixers you're going to get this guy in this draft this year, they probably wouldn't have gone and got Paul George because this is basically he's giving you what Paul George would give you on any given night, um, just a bunch of years younger. Um, Moving on here. This is a crazy one here. This is from Tankathon. Let me see if they have anything different here on ESPN. Nope. Okay, so the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets have the fourth pick. Um, I have something right here, and this is from Evan Siderly. He's been tweeting all the past couple days, and he has said he's reported that the Hornets have had a difficult time getting top prospects for their pre-draft workout. Per Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, and others did not work out for the Charlotte Hornets. Concanupo is the only prospect in the top 7 rated to confirm to have visited them. Um, I like Concanupo. 17 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Nothing really popping out to me here against these other guys in this range. But he is what I call a connector. He will not be your worst player. He will not be your best player. At worst, he'll be a role player, and at best, he will be a important piece on a championship team. Now, that being said, the Hornets are so far away from a championship. It's insane. Um, there's been rumblings also that people, NBA players in free agency and things of the like, don't want to play with Charlotte Hornets star guard LaMelo Ball. There's been always talks of LaMelo doesn't take it seriously enough. Um, he's not professional enough. The Hornets suck as an organization. They have no direction. They always get these sort of picks. And they're in a tough spot here where I'm always a fan of in drafting where you take the best player available. Just do it. Say whatever. The fit is the fit. We'll figure it out later, right? Con Canuple does fit next to LaMelo Ball. Is he the best prospect? No. The next guy up after him, Ace Bailey, is the best guy at this position. Um, I do like it though. I do like the Con Canuple piece of this. Um, Conquanuple did play with oh my God, what's his name? I'm forgetting a bunch of names today. I'm so sorry. Conquanuple did play with Tyrese Proctor at Duke, who's sort of a similar guard to LaMelo Ball in the sense of that he likes to shoot the ball, he likes to play in space. He's a taller guard at 6'6". He is not in this draft though. If I go look at his stats, um, yeah. So yeah, Conquanuple was familiar with playing guard, with playing with other guards. Um, at 6'6", I probably slide him into the two. I mean, you could put him in at the three. All these guys are going to play together though. It's going to be Lamelo, Khan, and Miller. So I have no feelings on that. I mean, I think the Hornets are just in such a tough spot at this moment because you want to take Ace Bailey. I would understand even if they took Ace Bailey tomorrow because he's the best player available. It is not. It is not. I repeat, it is not. It is going to be a dumpster fire if that is the situation. If I have to see a team roll out there with LaMelo Ball, Ace Bailey, and Brandon Miller, oh my God, I am going to. I don't watch Hornets games to begin with. I will not be watching any because that sounds yucky. That sounds like, oh, your turn, my turn. Oh, here you go, here I go. Basketball. Um, moving on to the next couple picks because we got to blaze through these a little bit here now. Um, I kind of just want to get through a couple of these because this next person has been projected anywhere from here to 10, or around 10. Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey has become a controversial figure in the last couple weeks because he is having some really bad advice fed to him by somebody that will not be named, and is looking like he is going to be a headache for any NBA team that he doesn't want to go to. It is speculated that he wants to go to the Wizards, the Pelicans, or the Nets. Um, Although I do think those are good fits, I think you should just you should just be happy to get drafted. He's making it such a process. He wants his agent and him want to get paid to do interviews. It's a whole debacle here. Um, I hate I hate players like Ace Bailey. They're just such freaking headaches, and they never turn out good. They turn out like LaMelo Ball, a guy who's just there for the money. He doesn't really actually like basketball. It hurts my soul. Um, but Ace Bailey projected right now on Tankathon to go 5 to um, the Blazers, not the Blazers, the Jazz. Pardon me. Um, oh man, I don't like the fit on the Blazers. We're gonna run through these next couple here. I like the fit on the Wizards. The Wizards would be good. Um, that to me that would signal that probably Jordan Poole would be out of the picture because you'd have a lot of guards that need a lot of touches. Pelicans, I don't think that'd work. You've already seen a scoring guard next to Zion, in a scoring wing next to Zion and Brandon Ingram, and that didn't work out. So I don't think Ace Bailey would do good there. I think anybody would look good in a Nets jersey because they don't have anything right now, and they're gonna have a lot of cap space. That might actually be the best because if the Nets can bring in a big fish that will actually mentor Ace Bailey, I think that would be a good fit as well. And getting around to 9 and 10, he's probably not going to fall past 8 if we're being honest. And the Raptors have 9. They don't need a guy like Ace Bailey on that team. And if he fell to 10, I think the Phoenix Suns would be very happy with that. They would take Ace Bailey in a heartbeat. Um, yeah. So that's pretty much it for Ace Bailey. I mean, 19 points a game, 7 rebounds, not even 2 assists, not the type of guy to pass the ball, literally just a scorer. I think I saw a thing where he said Paul George was his favorite player. And whenever anybody says Paul George is their favorite player, I immediately think them as a not high basketball IQ person or player, I should say, because Paul George does not deserve to be in anybody's best of this or that conversation. He did have 1.5 blocks a game. and 1 steal. So he does have the intangibles to be a defender. Does he want to do it at the next level? Because it looks like all these options that he's given, he doesn't want to do that. He wants to score the ball and wants to be a star, which is fine, but you have to earn that. You just don't get given that. Um, let's see here. You have 6. Trey Johnson, one of the highest scorers in this draft. 20 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Not the best defender. Um, I think any guard going. There are a bunch of guards. I've said this in a lot of videos. There are a bunch of guards in this draft that are going to be weird fits because in the NBA there are just so many guards nowadays, and if he's listed as a shooting guard right now, you might not be a shooting guard. You might be a small forward. You might be a point guard. The NBA has a weird way of turning you into these things, and you just kind of have to get comfortable with it, playing whatever position they want you to play. Um, I don't know too much about Trey Johnson, so we'll move on. Jeremiah Fears, supposedly mocked to go to New Orleans as a point guard. I like this one a lot for Jeremiah, especially if um, TJ McCollum's going to be there. CJ McCollum's going to be there to mentor him a little bit. Um, his physicals aren't the best. His sprint is really good, and he needs a mentor. I feel what would be best for Jeremiah is if he had a mentor to help him um, reach that next level. And the really only positives I'm seeing here on his scouting sheet is that his free throws are good, his points are good, and his steals are good, and that's pretty much it. he, it's so crazy that this early in the draft he might be a project. He might be a project player, and I think coming down the stretch here of the teams I listed before, Brooklyn, Raptors, and um, Phoenix, um, that'd be a good place for him to work it out. Um, Kaspar's, oh my god, I prepared to say it and I can't say it. Jakanis Kasparis out of Illinois, point guard, shooting guard. Um, not great at anything except rebounding at the moment. Um, Points don't really pop out at 16. Assists are at 5. Um, I've heard great things about him. I did not get the chance to watch him at Illinois, so I'm just gonna have to take their word on it. At 8, at 9, Kamal Malawach. I'm big on Kamal Malawach, super big. Kamal is the pardon me. Malawach is the one on your far left of your screen, by the way. Um, let's see here. Now, this is the case of the stats aren't going to tell the whole story because he has 14 points on the year, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, not even a steal. Um, but what he can be at 18 years old, at 7'2", is a rim defender, is a rim protector. Um, and I think there's a bit of a difference between a rim protector and a rim, what's the word I'm looking for? Denier or oh, there's a oh my god, what's the word I'm trying to look for here? There's a difference between a rim protector and a rim. Oh my god, is it denier? What's the word I'm looking for? Deterrent. That's the word I'm looking for. Rim deterrent. I think he could be a rim deterrent. Um, I I I I like both these guys coming up. Malawach at 9, and then Queen at 10 here. Um, I think if they swap, that'd be really good. Cause Derek Queen can provide a little bit more scoring at that 5 spot that the Raptors have needed, and then Malawach can be that guy in Phoenix at 10 um, to um, be something more than what they have right now, which is just like a stand-in big. They don't really have like a young big they're looking forward to. I think that'd be great. I think if these guys swapped Malawach and Queen, and Malawach went to Phoenix at 10, and Derek Queen went to the Raptors at 9, I think that'd be really good. Derek Queen is 2 years older than Malawach though, and is about what is that? About 5 or 6 points better at 19. One less rebound than Malawach, more assists, less steals at 3 at 1.5, but more steals. Queen is definitely the more was a less of a project than Malawach. So there you go. Moving on here. Let's blast through these last couple here because I am starting to lose my voice. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I didn't expect to be talking this much. Let's see here. Carter Bryant at 11. I don't know too much about Carter Bryant, even though he did go to Arizona. I'm a big Arizona fan. Um, Colin Murray Boyles, a sophomore out of South Carolina, 19 points a game, 2 assists, 9 rebounds at the power forward spot. That screams to me small ball five. 9 rebounds as a power forward is kind of crazy. Um, Especially, he's literally just listed as a power forward. That's it. Um, 1 block, almost 2 steals. I could see him jumping up. I Kyle Murray Boyles, a name to watch. I didn't realize that. That's pretty good. Don't know too much about him either. Asa Newell. I've heard a lot about him out of Georgia. He would be going to Atlanta in this mock draft. 19 points a game, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Um, I like that spot for him. Um, I would not be surprised if the Hawks tried to trade this, maybe. Um, but if we look at this and we connect a report that I heard um, today from ESPN's, I believe that's Jonathan Gavoni, is reported that the Oklahoma City Thunder are trying to move into the top 10. So a lot of these guys that I've been like talking about here, like um, Fears, Boyles, Asa Newell, um, OKC could be targeting some of these guys, which is interesting. They just came off a championship literally the other day, and now they're already in the draft. They're already looking at the draft, which is crazy. The rich get richer, huh? Let's see here. Cedric Coward at 14 going to um, San Antonio, 19 points a game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks as a shooting guard. I don't think they take a guard here. I think they take a forward or somebody. They might take the guy after him, um, Thomas Sorbor, out of Georgetown, or they could reach and go like a Danny Wolf or like a um, a Rasheer Fleming or somebody like that. Or if Colin Boyles falls or Carter Bryant falls or any of these guys I've mentioned fall, I think they should take a forward and not a guard. Even though, again, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block, or 2 blocks, pardon me, um, is good. I don't think they need another guard, though. They really don't need another guard. Moving on here before I lose my voice even more. Um, we'll go through 15 for 20 right now, just quickly. Thomas Sobor, um, projected to go to OKC right now. They have the 15th pick, which again they could trade up and try to, if they see one of these other guys, Boyles, Newell, fall. Comparatively, Sober here is the best defender out of the ones I've just mentioned at 2 blocks, almost 2 steals. I don't, and again I don't think teams are going to want to help OKC, so they probably aren't going to be able to move up unless they offer something really good. Um, at 16, the um, the Grizzlies getting Neek Clifford. I've heard great things about Neek Clifford. You look at his stats right here. As a small forward, shooting guard at Colorado State, 19 points, 9 rebounds, almost 5 assists. Um, I think that's what the Grizzlies should just keep building talent at this point. If there's rumors of them trading Ja or Jaren or any combination of anybody on the roster, and with Zach Edey being out for the future here, I think the best option is to just stack talent. Nick Clifford would be a good one. Danny Wolf going to the Timberwolves. I don't know if the Timberwolves need another. Mm, I don't know. I don't know enough about Danny Wolf, if I'm going to be honest here. Um, maybe take somebody else. Maybe no, I mean no, this is the right pick. I mean, you could take Nolan Essengay, who's projected at 19 right now. He's an international player. He might be a little bit more ready. Um, Even though Danny Wolf is 3 years older than him, I don't. I think international experience outweighs college experience. Um, so yeah, we'll see. Igor Demon going to Washington at 18. Nothing pops out except his assists and his blocks from BYU, small shooting guard, point guard type. Um, Again, this mock draft has 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 the Wizards taking a lot of guards, and there's not enough ball to go around. Um, I think the best case scenario is to trade some of the assets you have in the guard spot right now, if you're the Wizards, and take these guys because I think these guys have a lot of upside. I've heard great things about Hugo Demon um, at 6'9". So 6'9"? Was that his official height? Because I know that they were speculating he was tall, but um, I don't know how tall he was. Let me see here. Okay, he's 6'9". Man, I love a big guard. Yeah, take Igor Demon. Yeah, take him. Noah Essege the going to the Nets. International experience. I think just taking a gamble at 19, even maybe if you could trade up and try to get somebody else, but I think trying the how do you say it, the international experiment, especially with this team, which really has, I won't say no direction, but just in the rebuilding direction would be great. Um, the last one here at 20, Rasheer Fleming going to the Heat, power forward. I think, you know what I think they should do? This is a great opportunity to talk about this. Um, they don't need another forward, whatever. They have so many. The Heat have so many. They have Bam. They have Kalaware. They have Jovic. They have Jaime Jaquez. They have a bunch of these guys. Um, I think you need to take the national championship winner, Walter Clayton out of Florida. Right now they have him mocked at 25. Just take him. Just take him. Keep him in Florida. They have him going to the Magic at 25, but if I would reach if I'm the Heat and just take him and say, hey, we're gonna have a young guard next to Tyler Hero. We have him as an asset. We can keep him on more team control of a deal. And if he turns out to be really good, guess what? You can trade Tyler Hero, who's on a huge freaking deal, who you don't really need. Um, so yeah, that is my draft stuff for tomorrow. A bit longer than I wanted it to be, but I knew this was gonna be long anyway. Sorry if you heard my voice going in and out there. There was a lot to expound upon there. I'm just looking through this other ooh, yeah, I'm just looking through this other draft they have here. Oh yeah, they got some different ones here. They got Malawatch going to the Nets, which I would be mad at. Um, let's see here, what else they got here. Murray Boyle's going to Phoenix. That wouldn't be bad either. That'd be kind of crazy. Let's see here. All right, all right. Oh, that's a different one. Where's that guy? Joe Bringer. Okay. They got some different ones here on ESPN. I'm looking through it right now. Derek Queen falling all the way to Oklahoma. That would be wild. That'd be a wild one. If that's what they're reaching for, I like that. Because there's been some early talk, super early talk about OKC going to have to avoid the second apron, avoid all these restrictions they do if you go over the second apron. And the first guy that might have to go is Lou Zangdor or Isaiah Hartenstein. And if you could get Derek Queen and sort of mold him a little bit to be that replacement, oh, I like that a lot. Um, let's see. Yeah, okay. Nothing too different, just a couple here. All right, so yeah, that's the video. We will talk about The draft is tomorrow night, so there won't be a video tomorrow. Check out my other stuff. Check out my WNBA stuff. I'll put a card in the top right corner. Check out my college stuff. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.